What's up, YouTube? It's Kenny again. It's December 31st, and this will be my last video of 2023, obviously. And next year is the year, all right? Now, if you're just finding this channel, please hit the subscribe button and jump on board, because 2024 is the year. The goal I've set for myself over a year ago was by my birthday in 2024, which is August 21st, I will be setting off on my adventure. I'll be quitting my job and taking off to live in the van. Now, I may wait a little longer than that just to save up some more and to not start right in the heat of the summer. But by the end of 2024, by the end of this next year, I will quit my job and I will take some months of time living in the van. How long depends on how much I can save by then and how long I can stretch it. I wanted to talk a little bit today about what 2024 is going to look like, and also I want to just walk you around the way I live now a little bit so you can see the similarities and see some of the ideas that I have based on driving trucks for all these years. Because I watch a lot of van life content and I see a lot of ways that they could improve on things they're doing just based on living in these trucks. They've had years and years to perfect how this stuff in these trucks works, how it's set up. And, there's a lot that the van life community could learn from it. And I'm not going to attempt to go through it all here today, but I just wanted to make a good video for this last video of the year. So, again, if you're just finding me, hit that subscribe button. I don't make a lot of content, and it's not really what you would call van life content yet. But the next time I come in for home time, I'm going to be building the electrical system, or at least the majority of it. I've bought almost everything I need as of right now to complete the build. The van just came out of the mechanic, and there's a little more that needs to be done, but it's very mechanically solid at this point, and we're ready to get started. I'm at the point in the journey, I've been planning this for a couple of years, and I'm at the point in the journey now where I have the money and the stuff to complete the build, and now I'm saving on the money that I'm going to live on when I quit my job. So here we go, guys. 2024 is the year. So let's talk a little bit about how I live now. I think I did a truck tour a year or two ago, but I want to talk just a little bit about how I live without going into the specifics of the workings of the truck, So for the last over 4 years, I've lived in this 18-wheeler. I don't pay rent. I live in this truck 6 to 8 weeks, and then I go and I stay in a hotel or with friends and stuff like that for a week or so, and then I come back out for another 6 to 8 weeks. So this is a very similar existence to van life, other than the fact that this is a job, and I have places that I have to be and schedules to keep. My living situation is very much like what it would be in a van. So let's just take a quick look just at how similar the setup is. So in the back, this is the living area. And excuse me, I haven't done a lot of cleaning or anything. So this bed is roughly the same size of the bed that's in the van. It is longer. There's a lot more room on the sides. This whole space, the truck itself is wider than the van. But size-wise, this bed is about the same size as what's in the van. I'm a side sleeper, so sleeping side to side is not a big deal in the van. Now, I've decided to kind of emulate what I've got here. So if you see, looking from me sitting on the bed, okay, we've got on the left, we've got storage and refrigerator and closet, all right? And on the right, we've got drawers, storage, a table, and this is where I keep my coffee maker, and the microwave's up above. Now guys, this is not very much space. Like, from sitting on the edge of the bed, I can touch my curtains. All right, this is a very small area right here. The van, so it is about the length of where the dash is up there to the back seats. I mean, to the back of the driver's seat. So it's a lot more space lengthwise. But I do believe that I'm going to emulate this. I'm going to have my coffee maker and microwave and stuff, even though it'll be set up different, on the side here with some sort of a table. And then on the other side, I'll have a spot where I'll have my TV and a cubby to put my Bluetooth speaker and stuff. And then in front of it, I'm going to have curtains like this. Now, this is what I think is lost on a lot of van lifers, okay? They think of these curtains that they typically put them right behind the driver's seat, so all the way up there at the front. And they think of those as a way to keep the light from bleeding out. And that is one use of them, okay? But the main reason that we do this in a truck is because there's a tiny little space in here, and that is the totality of the space that has to be heated and cooled, okay? When you have to heat or cool a space this whole size, which is how big it would be if the curtains were at the driver's seat, then you have a lot more area that you're trying to heat or cool to temperature control for yourself. But if you cut that down to a really small area, it's relatively easy to keep it warm and keep it cool. Now, we're talking primarily about while you sleep. You're never going to, on solar and electrical, you're never really going to be able to keep this whole van cool. But you can, while you sleep, keep this small area cool pretty damn easily, guys. Now the difference is, okay, I'm not going to have all of this upper part. I'm not going to have all of this upper storage. And I use this top bunk as storage, but there's really not very much up there that has to, that's important. You know, there's like some clothing and some stuff that honestly could be thrown away, a bag, some music gear, and a guitar. And I keep paper plates and stuff like that in this, and my dirty clothes. So there's really not a whole lot up there that I'm missing. And then the microwave will have to be down lower. And then in here I've got a lot of clothing and toiletries and stuff. My stuff for going poo-poo in the bucket when I have to. But I also won't have the refrigerator down low up here. The refrigerator in the van sits between the seats. So all this type of stuff could be down here potentially. So, and then coffee maker, I'd like to be able to get up and make my coffee just like I normally do. And really these drawers down here in the truck, I don't even use those, guys. I used to, but I really don't even use them. The bottom one's completely empty. I used to put a lot of dry storage food in there, but I really don't these days. So guys, you can see that I live, and I apologize for the mess up here. I got a bag of trash that's about to go in the trash. And then what I do is I use a back seat organizer around the other way, and I put a lot of stuff in that I use. In the van, I will probably have one like this and a second one that's behind the seat. So I'll have double that amount of storage for all kinds of little stuff that I use all the time. And obviously in the van, I'll have this whole passenger seat, the ability to set up, you know, to have stuff that I need to get to, just like this, you know. So there's a lot of similarities, and I won't have these upper cubbies and stuff in the van, but I don't use these for anything. Like, they've got all just work stuff in them. I hardly have anything in there that I need, you know. So it's going to be relatively easy for me to live in that space because there's actually a lot less room in here if you don't count the upper stuff. But I really think that van lifers could learn a lot from the way we use curtains. These aren't like, you think these are heavily insulated or something, but they're really not. They're like nylon type stuff on one side and like a velvety type stuff on the other, but they're super thin. They're not thick. And they have magnetic strip and then we also have these curtains that go all the way around the front. And I'd like to have something like that in the van. I haven't quite figured out how to accomplish it, but in the heat of the summer, when you're trying to cool it in the back, if you close those up and then get back here in the back and close these up, because we have a heating and cooling system. Basically, in these trucks use diesel heaters, just like what van lifers use. Only they use Webasto's and S-bars. And they've been using these since I started driving trucks 20 years ago. Okay, that's where the diesel heaters we use today come from, is from these heaters that we've been using in trucking forever. But we also have an air conditioning system back here, and mine runs off of batteries. And guys, I can cool this back area to 65 degrees when these curtains are closed. When I have the front and the middle curtains closed, I can do that off a battery. Now, I have researched trying to figure out a way that I could just get an APU like what we have in these trucks and put it on that van, but they're just way too expensive, and that's why I got the EcoFlow Wave 2. And we'll see how much I'll be able to actually do during the daytime and stuff, but I am positive that at night, using this type of setup, that I'll be able to sleep cool in the summer. Heating, we're going to find out how much, because I can put a diesel heater in there if I need to, but the Wave 2 does heat. I just haven't really had a chance to. When I slept in the van for 10 days or whatever it wasn't really that cold, and I just didn't hook the Wave 2 up really. It only got down into like the mid upper 30s at night, and I had an electric blanket going on the little River 2 Pro, and I really only used that. I tried to run it all night one night on low, and it was just too hot, so I was really only running it for an hour before I went to sleep, and then I'd wake up and turn it on for an hour, and that was plenty. Anyway, I just kind of wanted to go through that a little bit. These curtains and kind of the way they insulate the back too, the way they insulate the back, like it's not anything like what these van lifers do. It's like a piece of board with a little bit of furry stuff in the middle, probably like the 3M Thinsulate type stuff, and then this nylon stuff over the top of it, fake leather stuff, and that's it. And the sun will be beating down on it, and that AC overpowers it. And that's kind of what the interior of the van that I have is like. It's like a little bit of a thick material, but it has a fuzzy stuff on the top of it instead of a fake leather type stuff. But we'll see. I've decided not to rip it all out, so if it doesn't work out well, then we'll do something different with it the next time around. Most van lifers build their van out multiple times, and I'm not going to do a big extravagant build in there. I'm going to live in it and do some things that I know I want, and then think about it as I go. What do I need, not what I think I want, And I do have a little bit of an advantage because I've already been living like this. And this 4 years that I've been at this job is not the first time that I've lived like this. I did local jobs for a long time and didn't have to sleep in the van, but this is not the first time that I've lived this way. and I've been doing it for an extended time. So I have a good idea about what I want and what I need. And you know what? I don't need a big extravagant kitchen. I don't need an extravagant water system. I just don't need it, you know. And I think that people coming out of homes think that they need all that because they've never really lived like this. And I honestly think that a lot of them regret wasting all the space putting all of the extravagant kitchen, running water type of stuff that they didn't really need. Not to mention the fact that they do a bunch of pipes and stuff, and then they freeze in the winter, and I see them posting and posting. How do you keep stuff from freezing? You don't build it in the first place, or when you do build it, you don't hide everything inside of the walls. Like when you build a van, you don't want to have to rip the wall out to get to the plumbing, or if you have plumbing in there and it bursts, then it's all hidden behind everything. Then what are you going to do? You're going to rip everything out of there to mess with it. And the same thing with electrical. You don't want all that electrical run in such a way that if something happens, you got to rip all your walls out and stuff. Like, you want everything run in such a way that not only is it accessible, but that it's in your living area. Because like if you were to do plumbing, you do it in between the walls. The inside space is warm. The interior of those walls is cold. Yeah, they're going to freeze. But if you put them on the inside where you're keeping it warm so you can live and exist, that's how you keep it from freezing, guys. You don't put it all on the outside. You put it on the inside. Same thing with your batteries. You don't want your batteries dropping below freezing? Don't put them in a little sealed box that's away from the area that you're living in. You know, you got to have it in the area that you're going to temperature control. Anyway, that's a big rant. But if you're just finding this channel, hit that subscribe button and help me build this up. This is the last video of the year. And next year, I'm going to try to get more serious about posting content more often, even though, like I say, I'm out for 6 to 8 weeks at a time. When I come in, I'm going to try to do better about actually showing what I'm doing to the van, and, you know, what my plans are and stuff. And I hope that you guys enjoy it, and I hope you'll stick with me. I also plan to start a Patreon for this channel at some point, probably during this next year. I want to try to start getting to a point to build this channel up enough to where, and build enough of a community to where the possibility exists that I could subsist out there on the road and provide great content and be able to maybe not have to come back into the truck at some point. I'm sure that at least the first couple of trips out, I'll have to come back, work, save, go back out. But who knows what can happen. So again, thanks for being here. Thanks to all my subscribers for following, for sticking around. I'd like to talk about, for those of you that have been around since this was a stock channel, I'd like to talk soon about how we did this year, because we did phenomenal this year, even though we've only just barely recovered it from our losses from the horrible year in 2022. In 2023, I destroyed the S&P 500, more than double what the S&P 500 did this year. So we'll talk about that at some point as well. But again, thanks for being here. Thanks for supporting the channel. And hit that subscribe button, like the video, leave a comment below, and I'll see you on the next one.